Guide. My name is John Rivero, your host and the author of the ABC Photo Guide. So today is brought to you by the letter E. E stands for experience. And in a nutshell, I'm going to tell you how to go get some experience today. Actually, I was going to cover off what you do with it, but I think I'll save that for another episode because I think that deserves a whole episode on its own. So E, how do you get experience? It's pretty straightforward. You got to do stuff. You got to get practice. You got to get out there and you got to shoot. As a photographer, you got to get out and practice different styles of photography. You got to work on leading lines. You got to work on composition. You got to work on exposure. There's so many things that can go. I know you can throw your camera into automatic and it'll take a fairly decent photo. But when you want to get into the creative stuff, you really have to understand your camera and its controls. So that involves practice. Lots of it. You know, Malcolm Gladwell says, in his book, The Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell talks about being genius level at anything. And you need about 10,000 hours to be genius level at anything. Well, photography, there's no exception. I believe you actually need more than 10,000 hours to be a genius level photographer or a master photographer. That's why it takes years. It takes years, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication to mastering the craft and understanding how your camera, the gear that you use, how it works. And then when you start adding on other stuff like flashes and fills and modifiers, reflectors, like it gets crazy. So you have to start somewhere. You have to get experience, you need to practice. So today I'm going to tell you 3 places where you can go get some practice. First of all, the first place is meetup.com. That's meetup.com. And Meetup is just a community for people who want to get together with other people with like interests. So this is fantastic because I'm sure, I can almost guarantee you that where you live, there's a meetup of photographers that get together, they go out, sometimes they shoot flowers, sometimes they shoot fences, doorknobs, people, whatever. Maybe a doorknob is a person, but I'm not there to judge. They go out and they practice and they shoot and they get to play around with their camera. Actually, they get to learn it a little bit better. They're learning how to use their tools more effectively. And you do it through practice. And what's great about a meetup is because everybody's got like interests, you can quickly show somebody your photograph that you took on your camera and they can give you immediate feedback. And they can tell you, hey, I think your composition's a little bit off, maybe you should try this. Or, you know, your lighting is a little bit overexposed, so just bring it down a little bit. So that's where you get the benefits of a meetup. The second place where I think is actually a little bit more beneficial than a meetup is assisting a master photographer. I know when I got started personally, there was a couple of people that I would assist. Sometimes I would get paid, but right at the beginning, I just went out there for free because I wanted to understand specifically the photography industry, the wedding photography industry, and how it worked, and what was really involved with taking wedding photos. So I assisted, and sometimes I would just be there to carry bags, but I'd always bring like a little notepad with me to take notes and just understand like poses, locations, how they would set up the couple, how would they set up the bridal party, and just kind of understand the flow of how everything worked. And that actually turned out fairly well for me, and today I can say I'm a pretty good wedding photographer, and so that came from that experience. And thirdly, sometimes you don't even need to leave your house. I know with the post-production piece of photography, you need to learn how to use the tools on your computer, things like Lightroom, Photoshop, or whatever photo editor you use. And, you know, the site that I go to for reference is kelby1.com. It's by Scott Kelby. If you're not familiar with him, you should. It's fantastic when it comes to the post-production piece of photography. His photographs are also outstanding. I've attended his workshops live, and his stuff's great. But he really gets into the nitty-gritty of how to actually finish off the photo. It's one thing to take it in camera. I know personally for myself, I shoot in RAW. It forces me to go in and finish my photo off. So, you know, Scott Kelby, through his online training tool, like his online training workshops, you can, you know, he'll take you step by step on how to do that. So there you go. So this week I gave you 3 places on where you can get experience. One is meetup.com, assisting a master photographer in the genre that you're interested in your area. And thirdly, kelby1.com. I apologize to the followers out there for last week. I know I missed a week. It's just it's crazy. When it gets crazy busy, hey, I'm here trying to share my knowledge with you, but I'm also a working photographer at the same time. And I just wanted to get out there and apologize, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen going forward. So for the rest of you, wishing you guys all a fantastic week, and I'll see you all next week. All right, thanks.